Oh, I mean, I was supposed to be off the air. Oh, sorry.
Come
No,
on, man.
you know how hard it was to hold that belch in that long? Come on. Oh man. I'm sorry. I've just seen a text that was sent to me by one of your friends that you told him I knew all the answers about Ticketmaster. So thanks for that. It's a Tech East Tuesday.
Just say his name. It's Jared Lozier. Northeastern Insurance you will lead it off with a Jared Lozier plug. Save your cash here in 2022 with that guy. Ask Jared Lozier if you have tickets to a certain concert. JAREDL at nemail.com. There you go, Jared Lozier. Save some cash, your home, your small business, and more. Jared Lozier, Northeastern Insurance.
He texted me like early too, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what the hell you want. Leave me alone. All right, it is Levack and Goz Tech East Tuesday. Neither one of us at Tech East, though it is Tuesday, so it's partially true what I'm telling you at this moment. I just did the coaches show at Sea Smoke Waterfront Grill. And then everybody, there's Coach Manas, there's Darius Prince, there's Dwayne Hollis, and other people are coming and all this other stuff. So I'm just like, I gotta go talk to Goz. And they were like, no, really, what's happening? And I was like, no, Goz, I gotta talk to Goz. I miss talking to Goz. They're like, no, really, what's happening here? So here I is. I'm ready to go. My mic sounds weird to me.
We made some adjustments because for those who might have been following us on social media, the original plan for the summer was going to be Wednesdays. But then we both thought, okay, because
I don't want to do 2 shows in a week. I'm very
That's
lazy.
right. There you go. Simple and easy as that. We thought about it. We're like, you know what? The coaching show is going to wrap from 3 to 4:30. We can just push back the summer shows a half hour. So if you do watch it live, which is a smaller amount of people that listen on the audio side, that's okay. 5 to 6:30. You can put us outside, enjoy the smoking hot day in the capital region right now, and enjoy it like that. So that is now the new plan. We hope that's going to stick from 5 to 6:30 throughout the summer as the coaches show rolls on for the Albany Empire. And like you said, go check out the Albany Empire coaches show in person. We can do that at this point, right? Are the doors sort of kind of open in the early part? Aren't like it opens at 4?
Yeah, the happy hour starts at 4. But I think if you were like, hey, I want to go stare at those morons, that they would let you. I feel like that would be the thing. So just so you know, Jared Lozier and I still going back and forth. He asked me for Ticketmaster advice. I was like, I have no idea. He said, damn it, God said you knew everything. I go, he's an idiot. He goes, well, he's your idiot. I replied with, that sounds like gay marriage, ... Not that there's anything wrong with that. So
wish Jared a happy Pride Month for me tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, it is. It's tomorrow. It's the first day of LGBTQ plus Pride Month. So there you go. I don't even know what else I can teach you after that. Now we're in. Now we're in the show. We're rolling along. Everything's good. I'm good. I'm done actually. There's one person watching. Whoever you are, God bless you. It is Levack and Goz, and have a great Tuesday. Bye.
I've got a few questions for you. Now you just wrapped up the coaches. I got some questions about the Albany Empire. I feel confused as the broadcaster. I'm lonely. Andrew Santillo's texted me during the wedding on Saturday, giving me updates, and I didn't text him until 2 days later. I think he felt like I was ignoring him. I got some questions about Sam Castronova, the quarterback, of course.
Yep.
I'm getting some conflicting reports that he got injured, and I don't think that's true. But people are saying he didn't. Okay, all right. So help me through this because I think you might have seen the same reports I did there, where Castronova is not getting credit for the game on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm currently, actually, let me close my email so you don't get deafening blongs every time I get an email. Currently trying to fix that with the league. There was a jersey mishap. There was actually a million mishaps to all the fun I had at the expense of a certain team that I'm not going to name that couldn't play a game when they were supposed to because of travel issues, came back to bite my team in the hiney because we many times I've told you, anybody who listened, I've told you, there's no direct flight from Albany, New York to Columbus, Georgia. It doesn't exist. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll try to find the most convenient trip and make it work. And our friends from Yankee Trails are always good to help us with that. So our guys at noon on Friday piled into the Yankee Trails bus, the family roadster, if you will, and went down to Newark to fly to Atlanta, where another Yankee Trails bus would grab them and finish the trip off to Columbus. We tried this last year, worked perfect. So we're like, you know what? Let's not mess with something that isn't broken. Let's do that. So again, they leave the capital region at noon on Friday. They get to Newark at 3. It's a 5 o'clock flight. They're gonna be at their hotel in Columbus by late dinner. It's gonna be perfect. Everything's good. Except for Mother Nature is a bipolar biatch and decided to just try to swap planes out of the air on Friday. So we're sitting here. I wasn't able to go on this trip. I had stuff I had to handle back here. So Mike Corda and I, the owner, are going back and forth because the 5 o'clock flight is now a 7 o'clock flight. And then it was a 7:40 flight. And then it was an 8:30 flight. And then it was a 9:25 flight. So this is happening, and we're like, oh my God. Oh my God. We're gonna have to fly in the day of. Like Mike is like, he's like, there's no way in God's green earth I'm not getting my team there to play after what just happened to us, because it was tough. It was hard on us. It was hard on our fans. So he's like pricing, passenger vans to rent in Newark. And he's going to have the guys like caravan down. He's calling me going, you ready? I'm like, for anything. What are we doing? He goes, we might rent vans here and go get them. I'm like, the phone is, I can't hear you, Michael. I'm underwater. And it was, so like, we're doing all that. The guys finally start the board around like 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. There's a medical emergency on the plane. So now they have to wait for, EMTs, and it was a woman, and I don't even know medically what happened to her, but they ended up, they were able to get her back and get her out, get her help. But then they have to restock all the medical supplies before they can lift off. So now, again, God bless Yankee Trails, because I'm on the phone with the driver, Jason, down there in Atlanta going, hey, so could you just keep circling the airport? Because it's going to be another couple hours. You could just, so get there. I guess Coach tells a story of Nick Hague in the baggage claim in the Atlanta airport, which is basically empty when we're there at like 3 o'clock in the morning, screaming, game day! Like getting everybody fired up. And they get to the hotel like 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was, and ended up playing and winning. But during this, on Saturday, I get a call from our equipment manager who asked me if I know where Sam Castranova's number 10 jersey is.
What?
To which, not in the nicest way, I was like, how the hell would I know where it is? Like I'm hoping this is just a prank and you have it. Turns out somehow, some way, it ended up at Best Cleaners, because it was still getting I think his captaincy fell off. Somebody at Best Cleaners thought we had it. We thought Best Cleaners. So just long story short, Sam Castronova, actually long story, incredibly long. Sam Castronova ended up playing in the number 9 jersey, which somehow the fine people in Columbus who were doing stats they didn't see it on the roster. So they just went with the number 9 they knew was out there. That's Zach Farrer, who wasn't even there yet, and gave the credit to Zach instead of Sam, who, by the way, Sam not only played quarterback, not only did he not miss the game, he played quarterback. He started kicking after Mark got hurt. So Sam played multiple positions, just incognito in a number 9 instead of a number 10.
All right, I want to go back to that kicking scenario, because that is some of the reasons as to why I think a lot of people who followed the Empire, who did not watch the game live that Saturday night, were confused by it. So that answers the local reporting that's out there. We're not going to name that person, whether it's a male or a female or whoever it might be, who might have screwed up those stats that came here in the capital region.
She just read the stats. I mean, it's she. I mean, you said it's not a male or a female. She just read the stats as they were put out there. And coach is like, yeah, it sucked. It was not a good trip. It's weird for me to even talk about the trip because I wasn't on it. And poor coach, like he did it. He did everything he can to keep the guys rallied up, and he did a great job. But again, they had to do that trip. So
let's go back to the Castronova scenario with the kicking. Yeah. So walk me through. He got blasted on an extra point. Mark, got
Mark. Yeah, Mark. It was. I'll call it a questionable hit because I'm just here so I don't get fined. And Mark got dinged up pretty good. So coach said today on the coach's show, Castronova was in his ear instantly. I can kick. And, coach at first was like, whatever, your quarterback, stay over here. Did you see what just happened to the last guy who could kick? No. And then Sam goes out and he kicks okay. So then he's like, well, I can kick off. And coach finally let him go do it. He goes, but don't go down and try to cover the kick. Just kick it and, sit down in the corner of the end zone. Of course, he goes down and tries to cover a kick because Sam's a bad man. But yeah, Sam Castronova did it all. He was the man. He was wearing 9 because he was just, he's like Batman. He had to have a, little alter ego thing.
That is insane to me. And maybe I'll understand this more going into the Saturday game with the injury report of what Mark could be able to do and everything else. But from the Ironman rule,
Mark is going to be okay, by the way. So right now he's taking it easy. Coach has got him moving around to keep everything moving. Our trainer Emily is amazing. So she's, giving him treatments and making sure he's got the best chance. Basically we'll know Thursday 100% one way or the other whether or not Mark can play.
Carolina's kicker took a hit in the home opener for the Empire that it seemed as if he might come out of the game. And then the fact that this happens, I'm a little confused by the Ironman rules about it. And maybe you're not even exactly sure how it went. Maybe if coach is still watching, he can explain it. Or maybe this is explaining the coach's show that, by the way, you can check that out on the Albany Empire social media platforms.
Yes.
How is he able to do it? Because isn't Castronovic claimed as the offensive specialist and then the kicker's the special team specialist? So how is that a thing? I was kind of confused by how that was able to pass through.
I think it's one of those situations where because you carry a 21-man game day roster, somebody's kicking, right? So it's I feel like special teams is kind of in an island of its own, because if you think about it too, like Darius Prince has been our offensive specialist, but he's our kick returner. So it's special teams is kind of in an island of its own, where the only guy who is 100% a specialist on special teams is your kicker. So when you're carrying 21 and now you're at 20, it's whoever's got a boot at that point, because otherwise that's one of those rules. I think if you over did it on a rule like that, all of a sudden, you've got like an offensive lineman out there, like just hinge kicking it, and it's not good for anyone. And Sam started better than he finished with the kicking, but at least he was out there to do it.
I take that back. You know what, Coach? You, Mike Corda, whoever I have to send this proposal off to, send it off to the league. Hopefully our guys over at the league offices watching this. Here's what Goz would like to propose for the NAL for 2023. In hockey, there's an emergency goalie. You knew exactly where I was going with this. Right? The hockey goalie is some random guy who's like the local like the
Zamboni driver or whatever.
Zamboni driver played a couple years ago, said, I'm just going to sit. I'm getting out. If they need me, I'm there. Give me that. Look, I've seen the kicks that have happened during the home games this year. Nobody who's kicked during your events on the field should be anywhere close to being allowed to that. But I'm all for an emergency kicker locally in the NAL that just hangs out and what a story that could be, Levack. Like somebody comes off the bench. The Capital Region guys.
I thought you were going to say it should be the color commentator. I thought you were going to go right in.
That is not me.
Because I'll tell you what, right now, I will abuse my power. I'll give you a tryout to be our backup kicker, like tomorrow, if I can film it and put it online.
You know what? If it goes on Godzilla Media, we can talk. We can.
I'll let you share it. I'll let you share it.
Fair enough. All right.
I will give you that tryout tomorrow. As long as I can film it. I'll as soon as practice wraps, I'll let the guys hang out late and watch you and see if you're worthy to be the best kicker in the league's backup. We'll see.
We can figure something out. All right. Saturday.
Can you imagine that? It's like, all right, Santilla, they need me. Here comes Goz, takes his tie off.
Can I keep the headphones on? Can I actually call the game on the bench? Oh man, this looks like a tough kick coming up, man. I got to be honest.
John Franz, laces out. All right. Darius is the holder. If you kick Darius's hand, I'll be never be okay again.
3:30 to 5 o'clock pregame show live from MVP Arena. Looking forward to
the Goz show featuring the Empire.
We're gonna have a lot to talk about that. I'll give one little softball over the plate. This is the best game of the season. It feels like this is the top two teams. Carolina and Albany are pulling away. It's a huge upset that Carolina went down this weekend, though.
Yeah, it is, and it's. This is the one because the way the year started, because how good Carolina's played, all season, the way that the Empire has played since game one, even the second half of game one. This is the matchup. Like whoever wins this has a serious leg up on being the number one seed. Potentially, like you would assume whoever wins this is going to be hosting a playoff game, right? Maybe, just maybe in the conversation to host the championship game. So it's there's no knitting circle between these two squads, so it's one of those ones where you saw a lot of respect on both sides after the game, but the Cobras and the Empire just they can't get along, so they're about to get it on. It's pretty much what's going to happen.
Is Mills Lane alive?
I don't know.
I hope.
Maybe we can get the celebrity deathmatch one, the claymation one. He could come do it. They'll get it on.
Miss Mills Lane. Looking forward to Saturday. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. I'm going to be driving to Saturday's game in a wonderful Honda Pilot, thanks to our friends over at Mohawk Honda. I got another text today about somebody that said, hey, I'm looking to trade in my vehicle. Who do I contact at Mohawk Honda? Do you not listen to the show, Jim? I won't call you out, but you know who you are. Our friends over at Mohawk Honda want to help you. Make sure to check out their schedules online because so many people this summer are already scheduling their appointments to stop into Mohawk Honda. So nice tip for the summer. Check out the schedules. Some people go on vacation, but you can find out whoever it might be, from Greg Johnson to Lindsey Hayard to Cam McKenna, Brian McKenna, MJ, so many different people. John Lucas, man, so many different people doing so many different things at Mohawk Honda. The crew's been fantastic, helping people, especially for the summer road trips on the way. Maybe you're traveling out of state. Maybe you've had it planned and you don't want that car to break down. Gas is going up. You want some of that good mileage now. All those changes can be made at Mohawk Honda and the Kelly Blue Book offer. I thought by now they'd stop this. I got a text today too. Like, there's no way they're going to continue to do this Kelly Blue Book offer. And yes, they're continuing to do it where you can drive up to Glenville, New York, drive off the lot with money in your pocket and a new vehicle. Can't get much better than that. And Mohawk Honda can do it in less than an hour. Mohawk Honda, my ride's from there. Levack loves his vehicle and hope you do the same. Have that bragging right. Have the best vehicle in your life, and you can make it happen by stopping over to Mohawk Honda, where they always go out of their way to please you.
Did somebody throw shade at you or something? Because, like, Tom Gross, what do you think of the comment made about the Albany Empire announcers on the NAL Facebook page? I don't know what the comments were.
Ooh.
Oh, do we have a little? Do we have a? What?
Oh,
like you like to go with names? Do we have like an announcer beef? Is that what we have?
Tom Gross, do us a favor, man, because we always appreciate your love. Copy the comments and send them over. This was not in the rundown. I'm all for a little beef here. So, Tommy, our boy, our friend, our pal, send over the comments. I'm curious. Yeah. I would say to that comment, because I'm very aware during the YouTube broadcast, because I think I've mentioned this on the show before, that there might be a rule that happens or something might happen that I'm looking this way. Andrew's looking another way. I love having the YouTube comments on because somebody in the comments might see something we didn't see. That's a really good tool as a broadcaster to have.
Yeah.
Now I say that, and I say the last game Tim and I did, we did get a lot of heat from somebody, and it was just one guy, just like constantly. But that's expected. Like Dave Pash is the king of this, right? Like any game he calls, his shtick now is to retweet two fan bases and say how biased he was during the game of two different fan bases. So right. I'm curious if it's just home announcers getting hate from.
Yeah, what was the guy chirping about? Was he calling you like a home? Like, was he saying you guys were homers?
Yeah, I'm just saying we sucked and we're not any good and we don't like, when we I wouldn't say celebrate, but when we give credit to the team for making a good play, it's one of those guys. It's like, oh yeah, sure, they're saying the Empire made a good dude. People are not used to not hearing biased announcers.
But this was the game where the Empire played almost a perfect game. Right? Is that what we're talking about?
The most recent home game.
Most recent home game.
Yeah.
So you would think that if that be the case, like, yeah, what were you going to do? You're going to like invent some negative things to say about your own team? Oh, here we go.
Do you got the share screen capability over there, Levack? If not, you can just read it. Either one's fine.
Let me make sure I want to do that before I make
careful.
Sure.
Oh, we're really dancing on the tightrope on this one, Tommy Gross. We like it.
How do I share? Oh, like this. And then share screen. Let's see here. Which one do I want? I want this one, right? I don't know how to do it. Chrome tab. Here we go. All right. Share. All right. Can you see it?
Oh, I can. My eyes are not as good as your eyes, so you have to read that for our audio.
I'll read it to you. As a Sharks fan, have to give props to the Cobras announcers on YouTube Saturday night. They gave props to both teams and kept up with what was going on during the game. They did a great job, unlike the announcers the week before at Albany. Those two guys had no clue what they were talking about.
Man,
wow! Somebody bringing that hot heat in your general direction.
I didn't see the guy's name. Was the guy's name Jim?
Oh, I didn't. I actually stopped looking because I.
No, it's okay. Because if his name was Jim,
I don't want to share anymore.
If his name was Jim, that's the same guy who was giving us creep on the YouTube page. I would argue that person's incorrect because I'm one of the announcers, but
yeah, I've always I gotta be honest, like when I watch the games back, I think you guys do a good job, a very good job.
Thanks.
It's let me see. I want to see who it is.
How did the comments treat us there?
Keith Dockery. In fairness, the play-by-play guy on Albany's call last week was last-minute fill-in.
He did a great job. Don't be hating on Tim Drawbridge. Come on now. There's no critique on that. Stop it.
It's just just the usual griping. No, most of it is relatively favorable in your general direction.
All
but
right.
it was look. I listen to you guys. I think you're fine. If you weren't good, I'd get rid of you.
But for something blatant.
Oh, like the owner of Carolina thanked the guy. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's interesting.
How do I use this information now? Do I go over the top against Carolina this week? Do I use this? Do I use this as a motivator? Who really sucks is that Carolina Facebook page. Whoever writes on that guy, do I just full MJF heel now and use it like that? Thank you, Tom Grouse, for the heads up, though. They provided content we did not think we were going to have on the show today.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking through it. Oh, no, they're going back and forth. They talked about, that Rob Storm was thanking him for just saying nice things about his squad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now they're going. That turned into a war about how many people go to what games. Woo!
Ooh.
All right, that was.
Were you looking for? No doubt, Levack is the best president and on-field host. Were you looking for
on-field host? Yes, I think that's fair. President, I'm the best president in Albany at the moment as far as arena football goes. But after that, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about that.
Good job too.
I can't believe Tommy Gross didn't go in there and start throwing some verbal elbows. Hey, that's my guy.
Get in there, Tommy boy. Get in there and mix it up a little bit.
Like Tom Gross, Tom Goz. Our names are close to each other. Start defending our guys, Tommy.
You have permission to get in there. I'll give you a shot on the broadcast.
Get in the pit, throw some elbows, baby. It's like an old Pantera show. You gotta get in the pit, try to love someone.
We want it like 90s basketball. We want an 82-77 final, like Lambeer and the Pistons.
Just get them in the low post and hammer down. No, but a tough game for our guys, but we got to win. And now we get ready for the Carolina Cobras. And my announcers are going to be mean to them and whatever. So there we go. The Empire win.
Levack, you're closer and closer to cashing a ticket. Game 7 victory for the Celtics.
I don't want to get too excited. So Trayvon Shorts is a big-time Celtics fan, and he knows I hate the Celtics, but he also knows that I financially love them right now. So he'll come in like, "You're gonna make some money." And I'm like, "Yeah, Shorts, don't touch the cash. You don't touch the money until it's in your hand. You know what I'm saying? That's when they hand it to me to count it. That's when I'll count the money. I'm not counting the money before that. So I'm like trying to keep it cool, trying to keep it not get excited. But yeah, it feels pretty good to actually, even though I don't like the Celtics, I get to root for the underdog and financially gain if the underdog wins. I like that. That makes me happy.
I'm glad you set it up like that, because here's what I'd like to do. Here's what I'd like to do for you.
Okay.
On Thursday, I'm going to post Marquez this year. There's a cut from last year where he talked about J.R. Smith and how he botched the call. And like you and I have asked him about it before. And like Levitard was way too hard on all that stuff. I want that Thursday is going to go up. And then I want to post a poll. Okay. Will you take the influence? And I haven't done a poll in a long time about whether or not you should hedge this bet.
Because it's too late. I think it's too late.
No, it's not too late. You can money line the Celtics to win the series, and you could guarantee yourself cash.
No, I would have to money line on the Warriors.
Or I'm sorry, the Warriors.
But it's a lot. Like it was when you first. So you mentioned this to me in a private text, and I looked at it, and to win the amount of money that I can win on the Celtics on a $17 bet, I'd have to bet like 200 something on Golden State. Well, now they're minus 150. So to win 400 some odd dollars, I would have to bet like 600 or whatever. So I'm not. No, I'm good. I'm rolling with what I got.
Let me throw this scenario at you. All right. Let's say you just put $100. Let's do 140 for easier math.
Okay.
Let's say you put $140 on the Warriors to win 100. Okay. So you're guaranteeing that the max you can win is, we'll say whatever that number is you have. And then the least you could, right. And the least you can win is 100. So,
however, by betting another 100, the most I can win is 340.
Right.
And if I lose, then I'm going to feel stupid if the Celtics go out and win this thing in 5. because like, well, I'd wasted $100 when I had it. And I think you gotta harken back to the amount, right? $17, it could win me $440 some odd dollars because I was just buzzed up one night and went, I got 17 in this account. Let's roll. So I'm gonna leave it where it is. I'm Eastern Conference, baby. Let's go.
Here's my poll question I'll ask. Is hedging lame? And if enough people say yes, you'll be very much like, okay, I made the right call. If it's no, then maybe you'll reconsider. Because I'm
a situational hedger. I'm a situational hedger.
Okay.
So like you and I, we had this conversation once before.
Kansas and North Carolina. I had Kansas, and you had the Rams. So we've like done.
Yeah. Well, no, remember there was a.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the night. I had a 6-team money line parlay going for baseball.
Oh, and the Nationals game.
Yeah, and I had 5. I had already hit 5 of them, and you're like, you got to hedge. You got to hedge, and it was like the 7th inning, and I was up by 3 runs, but I still was like, you know what? Because of that, the live bet, I only had to put like $20 down to get to the same amount that I would. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like throwing $20 around. I was going to take home like $300-400, and because they were losing, was it the Nationals?
Yep.
I had to throw 20 on the Nationals on the money line, and it was the same bet. I was like, yeah, I'll throw 20 away to guarantee myself like $200-300, but I'm not throwing away $100 on a $17 bet.
I gotcha.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. With the Celtics beating the Heat, taking down the top seed in the Eastern Conference, we know in your wallet is rooting for Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel more confident the Celtics can win after that Game 7 victory over the Heat?
This is one of those ones where I think styles win championships kind of thing. Like if Boston can ugly this game up, ugly it up, make sure it's decided in the paint inside the 3-point ring, I think there's a chance that they win this thing. If Steph and Clay are going off, and if Draymond's the toughest guy on the court and Steph and Clay are left alone to get their shots, it's going to be a long series for Boston. And by long, I do not mean how many games. I mean how bad it's going to feel when they get that butt whooping. I like Boston though. I think Boston's got a legit shot. I think that there's something about them that, to use another cliche, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the fight in the dog. I think they got a lot of fight in them, and I wouldn't want to go against them if I was anybody.
Our second consecutive podcast where we used Eastern Conference teams as dogs as our comparison. The dog of the Miami Heat's gone, and now the new dog's in town for the Boston Celtics and the fight and everything else.
The Franz family, as we know, are big-time Boston fans. No need to hedge, Levack. Celtics 6, buddy. I hope you're right for once. For once, I hope you're right. And our guy Evan said hi. I saw Evan at the game, the last home game, and he's like, yeah, thanks for talking about my bloody face, guys.
He's the man. I love that kid. He's the best. To the Celtics as a team, I've accepted this as a situation involving the Warriors. Of the 8 NBA finals they've been in, 8? My God, that number sounds way too high. That's insane to think about that is that high as 8 in this run here with the Cavaliers. I bring up that number because I would have picked them in every single one of them. When they played up against the Cavaliers eventually got them once, but they had a 3-1 lead in that finals. I would have picked the Warriors to win that, and the Cavaliers were a significant underdog in that. And the other finals against Cleveland, you could argue that they had a lot of injuries, and Dellavedova had to be the second player for LeBron. So I would have taken Golden State in all of those, but Cleveland got them once. When they played Toronto, I thought it was going to be a sweep. I'm like, Kawhi Leonard, it's not good enough to just beat Golden State by himself. He didn't. He got a lot of help in that series, but Golden State lost again. So it just, my mindset is when you have those type of shooters, Thompson, Curry, Jordan Poole has come out of nowhere to somehow have himself in a conversation as one of the better players in the playoffs. I don't think I'm ever going to pick against Golden State. They've reached Patriot level, Brady level for me. When it was the Patriots and Belichick, that was how you could do your old NFL picks of, is Belichick and Brady out there? Yep. All right, I'll just take New England. Golden State has gotten that type of credit for me, where if you're going to shoot the way you shoot, and you've shown me before you can win championships, and Steph Curry still doesn't have that finals MVP, one of the few things missing in his great career, I'm going to take Golden State. The Franzes won't like this, Levack, and maybe I'm sounding callous and cold. Did you see the Jason Tatum text that's gone viral?
No.
So Jason Tatum had a text message to Kobe Bryant before the game, and he sent Kobe a text that said, I got you today, fingers crossed. And then they won. So he shared that text message via social media. Like I got my inspiration today, or this is the fight that I needed. Am I a bad person who thinks that was kind of lame to share it on social media? Like, if you're gonna do the Kobe Bryant thing and that's your guy, that's your inspiration, you've got the sleeve right on your elbow, he was wearing the 24. Okay, like that's cool. But I feel like the moment you take the picture of the text and share it on social, the intention of why you did that might not have been motivation rather than clout chasing, if you know what I mean.
I think this is one of your very first old person takes. I think this is one of your very first guys
get off the
my
lawn.
Yeah.
Right. Just mowed it Saturday. You should get off it.
Because I finally mowed mine this weekend. I needed like 4 goats and a machete just to get started. It took me like 2 hours to mow my lawn just because it was so high. My poor neighbors. I see both sides, right? I see both sides because I see what you're saying. Like if it's really like, if this is your personal motivation, why do you need to share it? Or are you trying to get noticed? I legitimately see both sides, just because everybody posts everything now. Like, I was hanging out with my friend, we made steaks and stuff, so she had to post them. And I'm just like, well, did you even eat if it's not on Instagram? I mean, did you even, if
phone eats first. Phone
eats
first.
like that kind of stuff. And like, the only reason I really let it go too is probably the healthiest meal I've had in forever. So I was like, all right, yeah, rock and roll. Sure enough, like Eric from Best Fitness liked it, right? Loved it. I was like, yeah, good. They think I'm eating well. Literally, know I racked down a 12-pack of beer with it, but like I think we have to accept it. Like, I think you have to accept the fact that this is where we are now. Like, everything people do, they got to think about their brand. They got to think about, they're going to look for validation from people that they don't even know. Like the fact that you got crapped on by some rando who, on a Facebook page that you're obviously not paying attention to, and it didn't bother you, is a big pat on the back compliment to you. Like if that was about me, the fact that it was about you who works on my team and is my friend, like I want to fight that guy and I have no idea who he is. So like the fact that you're just like, yeah, whatever, bite me. I don't care. I get to have fun and be a color commentator, bite me. Like that's a big compliment to you. There's a lot of these guys, they need that validation from the masses.
Is it age? It's got to be just age, right? Because like it's not to sound like another get off my lawn, take your back to back, but especially for a podcast audience that is younger than usually what we used to deal with.
I don't know. We've seen quite a bit of oldies.
Yeah. From the social media side, like I used to ask this to you all the time. Like, do you like social media? And you would say like, no, I can't sit. I will say over the last 2 years, and maybe it's COVID, maybe it's the election, maybe it's light. I can't stand it. Like, I'm telling you, and now look, I've entered back into the Facebook, Instagram world. Yeah. That stuff is just awful. Like
that's part of it too. You weren't on Facebook for how long? Like you didn't hate it because you didn't do it.
Oh,
that was part of it. And I think when you left radio, terrestrial radio, and this became your forum, like your actual place of work, I think you started to become a little more protective of it. But like, you just kind of have to accept it. You just kind of have to deal with it. Like you said, I catch myself wanting to talk to people. Like I look at things the way I do in real life. Like if I'm talking about you, I'm going to tell you what I said. Like, I have manufactured some of the most awkward conversations ever because you and I are just having a random conversation and I happen to make a flippant like joke about somebody just because it fit the conversation. And then I go to them and go, hey, just so you know, about 2 hours ago I was talking to Goz and I said, your breath smells like farts. But it was like, what I mean? Like, because that's who I am. That's how I want everybody to be. So when I see these jackass cowards who run their mouth on social media because they know they're never going to have to answer for it, that drives me insane. And you never cared about it before because you avoided them. So now that's like how you interact with your air quote listener, I think it bothers you. You got support already though. Our guy Philly Wish, I agree with you on that one, guys. Yeah, it's just people suck on social media.
The thing is that
except for Philly, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to him. Shirts. I feel like if we address what Jason Tatum did, and by the way, awesome player, getting better every single year. Like I know Nick Wright likes to do this on Fox, like the Superstar Club, which is actually a really good take. I hope that gets stolen and gets used more cliche. Tatum's there. Like Tatum is in the conversation as one of the flat out best players in the NBA, and he's grinded at it and he's good. He's fun to all the compliments to him. But it feels like it's a business decision, a business move where Jason Tatum says, okay, like I feel as if people are not recognizing me with the Durants and the Kyries and the LeBron. Even though I'm in Boston, Like, I'm not getting that love. Okay, what storyline, what hype, what creativity, what can I do as a business to get that love? And Kobe Bryant, not to speak ill of Kobe understood the business of this. Like, Kobe had endorsements. Kobe was like a god in China when it came to Nike. And those images, if you type in Kobe Bryant Nike, it's hilarious to look at like how much he was adored in that country. He gets the business of this. This is entertainment and it's business. So that's how I'm kind of looking at social media, whether it be through this media company, whether it be through podcasts, whether it be through younger athletes and business owners. Like, if you just address that as a business, it doesn't suck as much. Like, hey, it's my job.
Right.
If Jason Tatum said that's my job to post that stuff, I'd be like, all right, I respect the hustle, I guess.
So guys, now that you're getting annoyed and you're doing the get off my lawn stuff, and we all know you hate old people, do you hate yourself? Do you have a Cubs pennant somewhere, and do you hate yourself?
This is where I need to lie down, right? And you have like a notebook.
Right.
Is there a couch in the Empire office?
Yeah. There's a couple of them. I don't know if you want to lay on them.
I've never thought about this, doctor.
Yeah. I'm saying this is self-hatred now. I like it.
Somewhere
like
John D'Argenio or Mark Benson's like, I told you I should have gave him that doctorate degree. This is great. He could have been a doctor of psychology.
And just think of the tattoo I'd have by now. I mean, come on. Anybody who didn't listen to the terrestrial show, I had a long-running back and forth with John D'Argenio of Siena and Mark Benson of Albany. Whichever one get me an honorary doctorate first, I would get a tattoo of that school's logo. I would do it, and I would do it with pride. I would.
The offer's still out there. The offer, Skidmore,
I don't know. I might pull
Union.
it back.
Well, okay, there you go. Skidmore, Union, RPI. You will offer yourself up to another institution. They've had their opportunity. It's time to move on. This is a podcast where Utica wants to step up. Herkimer Community College.
At this point in my life, I'll take the associates. Just give me the.
There you go. Mohawk Valley. Your alma mater.
Hudson Valley.
I'm sorry.
Please,
I'm sorry. The Utica answered my head still. I was driving this weekend. I'm sorry.
My buddy went to Mohawk Valley just after high school. I remember driving out there. It was like big art school. A lot of artsy students there. Nobody ever chalked my license better than they did. That was beautiful. That was what can't chalk them anymore. Now they got these lights and stuff. It doesn't matter. Kids, don't drink. Don't drink. It's bad for you.
Somewhere Willie Fish is laughing at that joke louder than most of us. I got some exciting New York sports news, but before we go there, let's talk about Lily and David Fine Jewelers. Located Shops of Wilton, Route 50. It is officially wedding season. Speaking about social media, my God, everybody's loaded up with the wedding pictures, the engagements, everything else. It's officially summer. It's wedding season. So if you're heading off to a wedding, you want to make sure you're looking good. Make sure to grab something great for her, whether she's your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife. Upgrade that style, that fashion. You can do it at Lily and David Fine Jewelers. Prom season's here. Maybe you've got a young daughter that's looking for something cool for prom season. Lily and David Fine Jewelers is a spot, family-owned and operated business. And for some of you, wedding by wedding, pressure by pressure, you will be tempted, and you should, get engaged to your girlfriend. It's been long enough. What are you waiting for? Get your engagement ring like I did at Lily and David Fine Jewelers, located Shops of Wilton, Route 50. When you stop in, say hello to Alyssa. I haven't seen her in so long.
I know. I miss Alyssa.
I feel like we haven't talked. She's busy. She's got kids. She's got a business. She's doing great things over there. Shout out to David as well.
Yeah, we have to go to her, guys. Like, you can't just, I'm in season, so it makes sense. But you have nothing going on. You should bring Rex. You should bring Rex. She should see the fruits of her labor.
Wait, you didn't hear what happened when I brought Rex in? Did you hear this story?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so
you brought Rex to Lily and David Fine Jewelers. Okay.
I was all excited because I was doing some things in that area that day. I'm like, you know what? Rex is riding around. He's falling asleep. Brought him in. And he woke up from his nap in Lily and David Fine Jewelers and roared, living up to his namesake, just going nuts. Luckily, there was a lollipop on the scene that shut the whole thing down. He was saved. It was catastrophe. A nice couple's behind me trying to make a big pert.
Yeah, he's like, honey, I don't want to get married and have kids anymore.
Lily and David Fine Jewelers. You may see a baby, you may not see a baby. Stop in Shops of Wilton, where they always go out of their way to please you.
Wait, that's a different. You mix it. Now you're mixing them. You just Mohawk. Lily and Mohawk David. You just made one big client out of all.
Lily and David Fine Jewelers. Stop in.
Where they always go out of their way to please you and save you money on your insurance, like Jared Lizzie. Wait,
what happened? I thought I said lollipop. Where am I? Stop it.
It's later than we're normally on. So like this is like an old radio show for me, bro. Like I'm gonna do like 4 hours of radio today. This is big. It's a big day. I'm ready. I'm ready for Igor Shesterkin.
And hit that again for me.
Shesterkin. And also Artemi Panarin. And all my dudes, all my blue shirts getting busy, man. I think if I was coaching the Rangers right now, I'd walk into the locker room right before game one and go, man, it really sucks. They changed the rules. What do you mean, coach? Well, we're in an elimination game right now because the Rangers don't lose elimination games. What do they have? 7 of them this year, I think they won. It's let's go. Let's go. Yeah, guys, if we lose, it's one and done for us. What? And they win like 23-1. Everybody's hats all over the ice.
Remember the last time we talked about the Rangers, we both kind of had a feel of like, you know what? This series needs a superstar. Somebody's going to step up. Edmonton's got Connor McDavid. McKinnon's over there for Colorado. Somebody needs to step up. Okay. Those guys have now talked about being the best players in their positions in the NHL. The goalie play has been, as he nailed it off the top, the best arguably in the entire playoff stretch. All right, I'll back off the superstar take. That game 7, there were superstars out there. They played like that. If you make it to a conference finals, all right, Rangers, we see you. Salute. Good job. And now you have the spotlight on you. You know what I like about this, though? What about James Dolan? Do you think about him when the Rangers are doing well?
I do. I thought about it.
The players, bud.
Game 5, the Rangers played like absolute dog crap, and I was like, well, you know what? I didn't know how far they'd get this year. 6, they come out, they look great. 7, they just look even. I mean, they're amazing. And I went to bed and I went again with the Rangers. Like the Rangers have been relevant, 4 different times since the Knicks have been relevant. Like the last time the Knicks were relevant, the Rangers have been relevant 4 times since then. Like 4 different teams, 4 different coaches, 4 like whatever it is that little troll doesn't do for the Rangers, he needs to stop doing it for the Knicks. Like, because I can't believe it's something he's doing right. Like, I don't think James Dolan walks into the room with his harmonica and whatever and goes, you know what? We should go get that Igor Shesterkin guy. I think it's more of one of those, like, he's forgotten what part of MSG the offices to the Rangers is. Like, he doesn't know how to find them. And he's just hanging out in the Knicks, just screwing everything up. He's a dark cloud.
Is there somebody in the Rangers office that's yelling and screaming to the New York media like, it's me? No. It's get James Dolan out of here. Levack just walked us through why the Knicks suck and why the Rangers are good. There's a missing piece, and somebody in the Rangers office is screaming, it's me. I'm the reason we're good. Why doesn't the New York media give me credit? I don't know who that person is. The New York Post isn't covering it. The Daily News isn't covering it. Maybe Dolan shut it down. Maybe Dolan's making the calls like, if you want your media passes, you better never give this guy credit. Click. I want that to be the soap opera.
I think it's probably security. I think MSG security, because I just imagine the Rangers offices are like an old Scooby-Doo cartoon, right? When the scary guys come down the hall and all of a sudden, like, they're all sitting there and then the door opens, they're all gone. Scary guy goes away, lampshade comes off. There's Shaggy. You know, Fred comes out from behind a suit of armor. Like, they're hiding. Like, I think somebody from security is like, Code Hobbit. Like, and all of a sudden they're like, Code Hobbit, everybody. And they're like diving behind desks. They turn the lights off. Dolan comes through, opens the door. I don't know why I'm paying these Rangers people. They're never here. Leaves, heads over to the Knicks. The guy from security doesn't like the Knicks. So they just walk. He walks in. He walks in and, hey guys, what do you think about hiring Phil Jackson for every penny I've got? And they're looking up at the security camera like, screw you, Phil. Like, because, you know, the other Phil who's at the security desk, Stu. I think all security guards are probably named Stu. Stu, you didn't tell us. Like, I just feel like that's got to be the thing. Or there's like garlic hanging in the window and he can't go in there. Or I don't know. Just something. We
terrible. Both agree on that. That's exactly. We've both come up with the theories of what's that.
Yeah. Wait, whatever makes sense. It's the Scooby-Doo theory. Like, how can we hide like 400-pound dudes are hiding behind a freaking drinking straw? Like, oh, it's okay, and he can't see him. Oh,
give me the Rangers in the Stanley Cup, though. I want them in. I know Tampa Bay's the defending champions. Tampa's got some New York connections because they're AHL affiliates in Central New York. No, Rangers, Stanley Cup, because they either get Colorado, who's been the beast, the top team. They've been the horse from the start of the season. They either get the Avalanche or they get the best player in hockey in Connor McDavid, and they get him in the final. So either team, if the Rangers do get to the Stanley Cup final, would be great. The last time the Rangers got there is against the LA Kings. I believe Jonathan Quick was the goalie, and he played great.
They were losing these warm weather teams. You can't lose these warm weather teams all the time. The only thing that sucks is like Tampa's been so good because with the amount of snowbirds, if Tampa hadn't been as good as they've been the last few years, I think it would be home ice advantage for the Rangers both in Tampa and here. Because like there's gonna be a lot of blue jerseys down there, but because Tampa's been so good for so long, I think you'll see a decent amount of Lightning fans. But I got all right. Which theory is going to ring true in this one? The Rangers have just a ton of positive momentum because they just refuse to lose in these elimination games, which is going to propel them to the Stanley Cup Finals. Or, man, that's a lot of exhaustion. You've played a lot of hockey. You're beating yourself up. Which one are you going with, guys? The energy and the endorphins kicking in, or you burned down, guys?
Every other sport, I would give the burned out, running out of it, except hockey. Because I referenced that Kings team that the Rangers lost 2 years ago in the Stanley Cup. It's almost to the point where if you get the best goalie in hockey, the seat is done. You could be 7-6-2-1. You get somebody in net who can shut it down, good. That's all you need. And the Rangers have that in net right now. So I would say that if you're a team that picks up this momentum, you can really take it. Baseball's kind of close like that, but baseball is a lot more about just one pitcher off of rest and how he responds. Every single night, you get that same person stopping shots on goal. You can do it. So yes, I would say the Rangers in this sport, the NHL playoffs, why it's so great, they could roll on that and make it happen.
My boy Philly Wish, New York Rangers 3-0 this season against Tampa Bay. ... Also, so Bills, Rangers, Yankees for Philly Wish. All right, I see you.
Okay,
I see you.
And maybe it's just like early June, late May here. Does it feel to you that the hockey talk overall amongst sports fans has really increased in comparison? The ESPN coverage could be too biased of an answer, but for me, like people who I didn't realize watched hockey are all of a sudden like, "Hey, did you see Edmonton last night? How about?" I'm like, where did you come from? Where?
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly.
It's just ESPN factor.
I'll tell you exactly where they came from. I get 60 freaking emails a day asking me if I want to bet on hockey on my 3 different betting apps.
Oh,
I think people who never paid attention to hockey before are like, I'll throw $10 on the Rangers. I'll go. Let's go. And I think that now and then they watch it and they're like, oh, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
I always thought golf and auto racing were going to be the sports that benefited from that the most because the odds on the winners are so much higher. And I'm sure there are people who are betting on golf and auto racing here. I love that hockey take. That's right. It's on all the time. I can win. I can play the overs and unders.
Go to your DraftKings, right? Guaranteed there's like 3 or 4 bonuses on the top that you can opt in on. Like auto racing's tough for people who don't like cars. It really, like, if you just drive and you don't like cars, like I love cars, like, because I don't know the difference between what turn and whatever. At least golf, I'm like, oh, this is that really tough hole I heard about this morning from that weird fat guy, the caddy. Like, all right, the 500th time they've taken that left turn, I'm just like, all right, well, that's cool too. And I know there's more to it. NASCAR fan, don't at me, bro. But like, I think golf for like people who don't, and hockey especially, for people who don't 100% care about it, you can lose yourself in it. Philly Wish reminded me also, Knicks fan. My man has suffered. He's been through some things. So let's go Rangers.
Were you talking about Michael Collins, the fat caddy? Was that?
Yeah.
Remember that was like the caddy.
Remember that legal? Remember that legal that was on like the ID for the old radio station? Yeah. That was like forever. The caddy. It's my God, the caddy. I'm just like, Jesus, shut up. Shut up. There's not enough room for both of us on this station. And I literally, because we're both too big.
You know, somebody get some hate online. That poor guy gets some visceral hate. I'm convinced that poor Michael Collins, who makes it entertaining and fun and enjoyable, because he gets the combination of doing it on television, on writing, but the golf fan that is older who would just sign up to get a social media account to rip it.
Yeah.
Michael Collins gets it. But yeah, he makes it entertaining.
But he makes it entertaining for younger people.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't like him, because you're old now.
No. By the way, DraftKings. Did you hear that? New York's in the conference finals. So email back me, please.
Email back me? You know what? I'm starting to agree with those people who think our announcers aren't that good.
Get back to me, DraftKings.
Come on, Rangers. Come on. Let's party like it's 1994. Let's do this. Let's go. I don't even know this story. I don't even know what's going on. How did MLB disrespect my beautiful Yankees?
Okay, so the New York Yankees, one of, if not the best teams right now in Major League Baseball. I'm taking this take from our pal Zach By. I saw this on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, you're right, Zach By. You're right. What's up with no love for the Yankees on Memorial Day? Like, Levack, whether the Yankees are in first place, they're in third place. Why are the New York Yankees not on Memorial Day? Like, there's certain days it feels like every year the Yankees in particular should be on. Opening Day, Memorial Day, July 4th, Labor Day. Those are like, lock it in, no doubt, done deal, put them on there. Do you think Major League Baseball, let's get a little conspiracy going here. Do you think Major League Baseball thought the Yankees were not going to be good this year? They're like, we don't need them on Memorial Day. We'll put somebody else on there. We'll put better matchups. We'll put better teams. The Yankees, they'll have their day. We don't. I think there's a little disrespect going on from baseball, how they schedule this thing to not put your Bronx Bombers on a showcase holiday.
All right, let's walk this through the steps. Okay, so the first thing you said, did you think Major League Baseball think they weren't going to be that good? Tell me one person besides me who told you they were going to be this good. Like, this is one of the ones, like, I'll take this one because everybody's like, oh, everybody else is getting better or whatever. I'm like, you guys, I think you forgot. This is already this is a roster that they assembled and everybody was like, oh, it's not fair. And then they got hurt or didn't play up to their potential. And everybody's like, haha, they suck. No, it's a really good roster. Did Major League, I have to believe that while they're making the schedules, somewhere there's somebody in that room who goes, let's be fair. However this works out, it works out. If the Yankees are going to get a day off one of these big days, that's just the way it's going to be. And it rolled through. Let's say like 4 years ago, it rolled through and the Yankees had Memorial Day off. And everybody was like, screw that. And then again, screw that. Finally, this time, this guy goes, are we just going to always move the Yankees? And everybody's like, yes. But then finally somebody's like, you know what? Let's do one. Let's just do one.
Right.
We'll take the Yankees off this. It'll be all right. Everything will be fine. The world won't stop spinning. But curses. Zach By and Tom Gozlowski, the 17th, figured it out. And now they know.
They were onto us, those fools. They were looking for something to watch with their kids, and they thought they'd be napping at that point. Look what they've done to us. No, you know what? I'm going to go with the disrespect here. Tom Gross beat me to it in the comments. Appreciate that. He got it out there and said it. They're not on July 4th either.
That one bothers me more than Memorial Day.
What the hell?
To be perfectly honest with you, that one really bothers me. That really, because that's like the baseball and the 4th of July. That's my jam. Like that's like I don't care what else is going on around me. Like even if I was at your house and we were having a 4th of July party, everybody's like, "Oh, Levack," I'd be like, "Yeah, absolutely, I'm 100% in." What? No, I'm watching the game. What? That's like the entire time. So like not being on that really bums me out. Really.
If you're trying to sell me on like building new stars, like, okay, let's say it's Christmas Day in the NBA and you don't want to have LeBron James on there. Let's say it's Thanksgiving and you might have like non-playoff teams. That doesn't work.
No, they always have non-playoff teams on
I know the Lions, right? Yeah, the Lions are always on there.
Usually too, yeah. Rex
thought that was funny. He loved that.
What's that? The Cowboys and the Lions suck.
It's very funny.
You guys suck. Jurassic Park up in the Goz house.
But when you think of if your thought process for Major League Baseball is to build new stars and be like, you know what, let's try to put, I don't know, the Angels on there. They're in LA. That's a big market. I don't know. San Diego, Manny Machado and Tatis or whoever.
San Diego.
You get the point I'm trying to make here, right? Like, let's just try to put somebody else on there. Don't leave that gate open for somebody else to take it. Like, this should be your time to go off and do your thing.
Well, you know what better way to get, like you said, like, all right, we're going to expose some new stars to everybody. You know what would be a great way to do that? Have them play against the Yankees on Memorial Day or 4th of July. Like, that's what you do. You don't do, you put two random squads together and people just don't care. I'm not saying it was a smart decision, especially to have two marquee days like that, not have it. Like, that's Tommy Gross, go to work. Go yell at – see, here's your missions. Go yell at whoever's yelling at Goz and go yell at Major League Baseball. Get this fixed for me. Come on, Tommy.
Also with the Yankees in Memorial Day. Rex, Rex, take the kid.
He's
I
got
know
an
it's 90
opinion.
degrees outside. I know he does.
He's got an opinion.
With the Yankees not playing on those dates, the fact that that's the only thing you can criticize about this Yankee team. I mean, you and I have gone through the gauntlet of like Boone, lineups, pitchers, need bullpen. We've covered about every single thing over the last 7 years about what the Yankee team season by season might be missing. 2022, that's all I got. Like everything else looks great. Unless you're seeing something that's a glaring mistake. Nasty Nestor's been fantastic. This is a really, really good Yankee team. You called in the preseason, but hitting June, no mistakes.
I'm a little scared about the closer. I'm a little scared about the closing pitching. That makes me a little nervous. Like that makes me lose Game 7 nervous. Not make the World Series nervous, but like it makes me a little nervous.
Is it going to be a slow build for the closer? Like we're just going to continue to watch Chapman go out there, or Boone is going to have like a 7-run lead in some of these and be like, maybe we'll just hold him off until August.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet that Chapman's going to get a nice, let's just say 10, like 3 10-day ILs over the course of the season, just periodically. Just like, he's got a loose body. Is what he's got, and he's got a tired toe. He's got and while he's out, there's gonna be somebody like sneaking into the vent of his house or hotel room, going, "You don't have to throw 99. You can throw 94 and aim. 94 and aiming is really good."
This is starting to smell like 2016, where the Cubs and am I allowed to say Indians? Sorry. Can I say Indians still? Do I have to call them the Guardians and
they were the Indians at that point, I think, right?
Well, they both made the move where Andrew Miller goes to
the team now known as the Guardians.
That's right. The 2016 Cleveland team gets Andrew Miller, while the Cubs go get Aroldis Chapman, and both teams had that glaring weakness of a closer in those spots. Now we know the story. Chapman goes from Yankees, Cubs, back to the Yankees. It feels like that. Like this will be an arms race between the Yankees and the Dodgers, maybe to shore up some pitching. The Yankees and the Mets, although the Mets are in a little different spot than the Yankees where they're pitching. Yeah, I could see this like resembling 2016, where maybe Chapman isn't on the roster come playoff time.
I don't know who you can like. I don't know who's better than that option at this point. That's the hardest part. Unless he's part of the Juan Soto deal that they're trying to tell us, Bradley Doolittle or whatever the hell his name is trying to tell us is going to happen.
Let's sit on the Soto thing for a second. Why?
I mean, I don't like him that much.
Me neither.
I mean, to sit on him. That's the kind of player. Like, I don't feel like the Nationals are like. Obviously, the Nationals aren't playing well. Our poor guy Instacam. He was at the Mets Nats game. He's messaging me last night. Mets fans are being mean to me. I'm like, well, you're getting your ass kicked. That's why. Like, it's just smile and wave, buddy. You're tough. You'll make it work. The guy like Juan Soto, you don't let that go. Like, why would you let that go? Like, what could you possibly get back that would even that out?
No, it's not needed. He's a really good player. He's going to have a great career. This is not the time for Soto. It's fun. It's fantasy baseball trades. You don't need Soto. Is he amazing? To be incredible? All that stuff. No doubt. The team would get better with Soto, but it's just not necessary. You're already really good. If you had to have the priority rankings, it's closer before Soto. Soto is going to be like Stanton was, Nolan Arenado was, man, those guys who get traded in the offseason and then get a big contract. That is Soto. Soto will get traded like at the end of the year, like December, January. He'll go to a big team. I don't even see him.
I just don't know why he's letting him leave. Like I just feel like that's a guy. Like that's the guy. And it's not like you're a small market. Like you've got cash. Like you don't let that guy leave. People will sign with you to play with that guy. Like it doesn't compute to me that they would trade him. And if they do, and I got to put together a decent package to get him, I'm not opposed. I don't know who the untouchables are at that point. I mean, obviously you want to keep the Martian, you want to keep the shortstops that are coming up. There's like really great talent in the Yankees farm system again. But at the same time, it's Juan Soto. I know what he is. He's a badass.
Yeah, and to Washington, they paid before. They just paid Strasburg instead of Harper. They took the pitcher over hitter.
The Scherzer money is gone now and all that. Well, most of the Scherzer money. He still signed a really stupid deal where they'll be paying him in the future. But like I just can't imagine a scenario where that's the kind of guy you trade. That's the kind of guy you build around. Like it's not like he's 29, 30 and it's good. Like he's your dude. He's who you want. So it's just silly that they're like, if they do trade him and you're the only national, like we know what, 2 national fans, what are we talking about? Gardner Royce and Instacam.
Yeah.
Like I'd stop being a fan. I would stop being a fan if they traded a guy like that. At least until they proved me wrong and brought in like great young talent. But
you know where Soto could have gone?
Where?
Marlins in division. Maybe that would have been the big fish, pun intended. Derek Jeter could have landed. Jeter's not even there anymore. But now Derek Jeter, Levack is on Twitter. Good? Excited? Is he going to stink?
See, this is what I love. Like, so Goz writes, is Derek Jeter going to stink on Twitter? And I thought to myself, if Derek Jeter legitimately was the one tweeting, it would not be entertaining. Like the fact that he took this long to be on Twitter is pretty, it's pretty, telling if you ask me. Guys, I think the dumbest part of the question is, it sounds like you think he's actually the one who's going to write those tweets. Like he's going to have a staff of writers do these tweets. Like somewhere Tracy Morgan's like, I'm gonna put a baby on Alex Rodriguez. Like he's got team. He's got the Players Tribune writing staff is now writing tweets. Like that's what it comes down to for me. He is going to have great tweets because he is going to have the best staff writing them. That's what it's going to be.
Right now he follows 4 people. The Players
Am I one of
Tribune.
them?
What was that?
Am I one of them?
No, you're not one of them. I thought you said, is his sister one of them? Because you were there at that event when he was at Siena years ago where his sister was a part of it.
They like
Turn 2 Foundation, his sister, and then Hannah Jeter, his wife.
Yeah. And I feel like that number's not going to grow a lot. So like his kids are old enough to have him. Here's the question. What's the motivation? Why Twitter now? Why Twitter now? And I have a theory. Ooh. Do you have a theory? Do you want to share yours first?
Here, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to write it down for our visual audience.
All right.
I'm writing mine down right now.
Mine down too.
Okay. We're going to, this is good. This is good stuff here. We never got to do this. All right. So at the count of 3, hold up your theory. Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
All right.
And by the way, if you're watching on our video side or if you're thinking about this, tweet us your thought as well.
All right. On the count of 3?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I can't see what you wrote.
Ooh, you wrote run for office. I wrote Tom Brady. I'll let you go first.
I think the Brady's part. I like the Brady part of it too. I think like what else is there for him, right? What else is he like? I could see this is the beginning of Derek Jeter running for public office. That's what I think. I think he's getting his message out. He's branching. He's going to use this to interact and become more human, more likable than he already is. Because Twitter's become so powerful that, former presidents aren't allowed on it, but dictators are. And the richest man in the world is trying to buy it, but he may not be able to. Whenever Twitter's become so powerful that I think even a guy like Derek Jeter's like, all right, I'll throw my hat in the ring there because I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I want to get my message out. I want to build a platform, and I want to show people how fast my platform would go. That you don't want to run against me when I run for something.
Jeter's 30 for 30 is scheduled to drop The Captain, a 6-part series later this summer. The reason I'm leaning against the politics thing is, in my lifetime, there is no athlete who has avoided the headlines, the drama, the gossip better than Derek Jeter. And I'm talking like superstar, multiple time All-Star, not some player who's on a roster for 2 years. I'm like talking like New York media. Derek Jeter dodged the headlines.
Yeah.
If he dives into the politics world, somebody's job on every single staff. Doesn't matter if it's Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, like they're going to go dig and dig. Like that's
good
the
luck.
Dirty game of politics.
Well, good luck.
He's batting like 900 for that. I don't know if he wants to ever lower the batting average when it comes to his personal.
What does he ever? I don't remember anything ever actually being negative about him.
The gift basket's about the only thing I've ever heard, and that's not
even that. Like, is that how negative is that? Like you've been the same woman your entire life. Like I can guarantee you that at a point in my life, if they had left with a gift rather than just left with the light coming up, the sun, they probably would have been pretty happy. So. And I'm not Derek Jeter. I know it's a shock to a lot of you, but like I think a parting gift is not the worst thing we've ever heard of.
I wrote down Tom Brady for this. The 30 for 30 comparison, like the man in the arena didn't get the hype it needed because Brady had too much of control. And that's what it seemed from the public perception. It might have been a great 30 for 30, but once the word got out there that Brady was doing Final Cut, it affected people like, we don't want to watch that.
Yep.
And then the setup where it was like, he's going to retire, but he's not. We already knew the ending. Why would we tune in? Like the whole thing was a little clunky, but it felt like Brady came out with his because Michael Jordan came out with his. And then Jeter's like, let me get in on this. This is cool. I'll do my own.
There is a difference though. There's a minor difference between that though. Like Jordan was gone. Jeter's gone. Like even when Jeter was doing the front office stuff, he was still gone. Like he's not our Jeter anymore. Brady never went away. Like Brady's always been Brady. So it's like, what we never had a chance to miss you. Now you're going to give us a whole way. Now you get to see a whole new side of me. Okay, well, great. I never stopped seeing you. So why don't you go away and let me miss you,
I just wonder if Jeter has to find something to be competitive with because we've heard stories like even if it was like a minor league baseball player, he'd compete with like a AA kid in batting practice. He'd do like how many, it just his mindset is that he's like, okay, I'm out of baseball right now. Who can I compete against? Oh, Brady's doing a 30 for 30. Brady's got his own business. Brady's funny on social media. He's getting paid what he's done being on the field for my Buccaneers, $30 million to commentate on Fox. Like Jeter's like, I need something to compete in. And the Players Tribune, I would say has been successful. The problem with the Players Tribune is it's like, I wonder if the Players Tribune would have been a cooler idea in the mid 2000s rather than the middle 2010s, because the ideas of having athletes having their own voice and their platform and telling their stories, technology caught up. And that is what we've talked about a lot on this episode and the show is social media. Like, why would a player use the Players Tribune when they can just go on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook? It's a great idea. It just almost the timing of it wasn't always perfectly executed. He got some really good articles early on, but players just said, Jeter, I love you, man. I'm going to go do what you're doing in my own way.
I kind of agree with the competition part, though. And I think that's why the politics, what greater competition than politics? And, like, if you're a guy like Jeter, is there a part of you that's like, there's only one man who can fix this country, and it's me? And look, let's be honest. I don't know he's wrong. I mean, you would think anybody who would say that out loud is full of crap. But my nephew, right? My nephew, he was a 5-year Marine. He was Marine Corps intelligence. Now he's got an amazing job working with tech companies and all this other stuff, right? But years and years ago, when he was just excelling in the Marine Corps, I go, am I going to have to vote for you one day? And he's like, I've considered it and this, that, and we're talking about it. And I go, the worst thing about it is you're such a good guy. I don't believe that you have any skeletons, but someone will find them. And he's like, yeah, well, good luck, whatever. And I was like, you know what? You need to hire me to be a part of your campaign. And he like shakes his head, looks at me, and goes, well, yeah, you're like, he respects my ability to get knowledge across and whatever. I go, nah, because my closet's so full, they'll just keep coming at me. And you'll get out of this clean. But like, if you're a guy like Jeter, that's probably the biggest challenge of running for office now. Can you get through it clean? Can you run for, a full calendar year without somebody finding that thing, that one stupid thing you did? And I think Jeter might be the guy who thinks he can. And is that arrogance? Is it stupidity? I don't know. But if he ends up running for office, like everyone has to send me $1 to my Venmo at Jeff Levack, not the is on Twitter. Jeff Levack. Let's go.
I hope he gets also $1 if there's someone who has that handle on Venmo.
If there's a Jeff Levack on Venmo, then that's just weird. It's Jeff Levack. That's what it is.
Jeff Levack on Venmo. Yes. If Derek Jeter runs for office, or you can just send it to me right now if you want.
And I'll tell you what, I will give none of that money to Jeter's campaign. I'll just keep it for myself.
We've seen athletes run for office.
There's 3 people watching, so it's not gonna be a problem.
Bill Bradley.
Bill Bradley.
I thought that same thing. I'm like, that's not his name. He didn't play for the Knicks. I knew you were going to do that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's who it was. Tom Osborne. The most recent that's happening right now is Herschel Walker. And Herschel's getting crushed because of some of the stuff he's doing. And people loved Herschel Walker. And I don't know how much, if at all, that changes people's perspectives and all that.
But
so, I'll keep an eye on you.
But Herschel's sports involve using your head as a battering ram and getting hit in the head. There's going to be people who are going to go against that every time. Jeter is Jeter. Like the only hit he's ever taken to his head was diving in the stands. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. If he would have to be more open than ever. And if he could do that and it doesn't blow up in his face, Ronald Reagan was an actor, for Pete's sake. Yeah, Schwarzenegger is the governor of California. Come on, guys. Get it right. Get to the chopper. Get that Jeter office. Turn 2. He's like the second president. I don't care who he is. He's number 2. He should just be vice president. I just want to be number 2.
Just giving Arnold again and saying turn 2.
Turn 2, guys. Guys, get to the chopper. Turn 2.
That's how every campaign commercial should end for Jeter. Arnold yelling that.
Yeah, vote for 2.
I think it's time for Q&A to end the day. I got a submission.
Give me a question, guys.
I got a submission from the wedding I was at Saturday, Levack, which, by the way, love this, that we got a lot more love than I realized. I got more people coming up to the wedding being like, hey, I like Levack and Goz. I like you guys. I hadn't heard you guys.
No, it wasn't her sisters. They would have said Levack and Goz.
That's right. It was actually guys. One guy named Tim asked me this question. He goes, hey, ask your buddy Levack. He's a big Yankee fan. What does he think of Hicksy? That's how it was worded. I'm assuming that's Aaron Hicks, unless he's got some other person who was at the wedding I didn't realize. Thoughts on Aaron Hicks? We'll lead that one off with from Tim from the wedding.
Hicks is that guy that I keep waiting for everything to come together and just be a monster. But since Hicks gave us the great saying before the season started of have some fuck you, like, what do you say to all your critics? Have some F you. But he said the full thing like I just said it. I don't want to say it more than once because I'm just too nice of a person. Like, I love that. And I think for the amount you're paying him, I think it makes a lot of sense to keep him around and see if you can ever get that full Hicksy package out of him. So I have not given up on Aaron Hicks yet. Not yet.
I'm curious if he's the name that might get dealt at the deadline. The Yankees are going to have to move something for that closer. Is another team value Hicks like they used to? This would be our perfect time of the summer. Will they trade Clinton Frazier? We can't even do that anymore. Yeah. No. This would be the year they get rid of Red Thunder. Curious if Hicks is the name that it's tossed around the most as the summer progresses.
Yeah. I think they're going to trade to get Frazier back just to trade him again. I think is what it's going to be.
Could you imagine? They go through outfielder injuries. Everyone's like, what about Frazier? Can they use him again?
He's basically like I know that I know they don't get the respect they deserve, the big fellas, the way they play the outfield, Judge and that other big guy Stanton. But like Hicks is like your only, like, it feels like he's your only true outfielder. Because like Gallo, I'm not sold on Gallo at all. I love Judge, but like Hicks is the guy who's like, hey, here's a guy who was built to play outfield. Here you go. And then it's like you get rid of him, and it's just like there's going to be a day where you legitimately just have the big fellas out there standing in corners. I don't know how I feel about that. So I know I hate this. Corey Greenwich, does Warriors Tampa Bay Lightning make your Mount Rushmore of the all-time Beats dynasty teams? No, I don't have a Mount Rushmore.
You just wanted to get that on there. How you don't even believe that?
And by the way, if I was gonna humor your terrible comment, the best dynasty in the history of hockey is the Canadiens, and the best dynasty in basketball is either the Bulls, the Celtics, the Lakers. The Warriors are down the list, and then after that, it's the Yankees, and God help me, the Patriots. God help me. They are one of the best dynasties in the history of sports.
Yep. No disagreements here. I would probably give the Celtics the nod in the NBA for that. Yeah. So there you go, Corey. You got what you wanted. You got reaction on Levack. I hope you're happy.
Yep. I hope you're happy. I hope you step in a huge pile of cow dung tomorrow morning. And not because you wanted to, by accident. Don't you think Corey's one of those guys like barefoot just steps in cow shit just to feel it between his toes? He's like, like the way some people like just count money and like put their feet in like a hot tub. I feel like Corey's just out there just toe deep in cow dung, just for the way just hoping. I think it's his thing.
I got a tweet from a guy named JT who I've never seen before. He lives in Austin, Texas. He goes, enough with these horns down tweets. This didn't age well. Finally, someone got me. DJ and Jack on Twitter have just been sending us Eddie is Texas back tweets for months, and finally someone from Austin, Texas replied, didn't age well. You know what? Yeah. Finally, you got us on one. Good for you, JT. I've never heard of you before. You're probably the only shout out you'll ever get on this show.
What is he saying? Texas is back? Is that what he's trying to say? Or
they came back and won a softball game against Arkansas.
So that means they're back? So a historic football school wins at softball? Like that'd be like me going, yeah, I know that we're not, on the radio, we're not getting nearly the range used to, but I won a game of solitaire on my phone. So screw you guys, we're back. Like that's just because that's the way he's going to legitimize this whole thing. They're not back. Horns down because of you, sir. Because of you.
Pick that, JT.
Celtics or Warriors, guys?
I will go with sticking with the Warriors. I will probably go Warriors in, 6.
Celtics in 6. Good try, though. Okay. Good try.
I want a game 7. I don't want more Mark Kesty. I want Kesty. I want more. I don't want basketball to go away.
Don't worry. Kessie's not going to go anywhere. There'll be a competitive badminton game around the corner. He'll start calling. Like Kesty's always calling something. That's what he does.
I got some AEW tweets. They had their big pay-per-view.
I talked to your boy today from who works for Impact, Tom Hannafin. I talked to him today.
No way.
Yeah, I talked to him.
Are you allowed to share the conversation yet publicly?
He's a big arena football fan, so he's just asking me about the industry and help me. He's like, if you ever need help brainstorming and anything like that, just let me know. So he's a good dude. He's a good dude. It was a fun call. We talked for about an hour.
Ooh, an hour. Let's go.
Yeah,
I want him on the field. I want a coin toss to Tom Hannafin.
I gave him your job because I saw how everybody said you sucked. So
walk myself.
He told me he's too busy to take your job. I tried.
That's weird. I would have done the same thing. That's a million views on Twitter,
guys. I would never. It's your job until you don't want it anymore, or Mike tells me you have to go.
Or Tom Hannafin calls, or Michael Cole, or Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee. Anyways, I would kick you out for Pat McAfee.
Jeff Hardy was hammered. Jeff Hardy was hammered on Saturday night. I'm
really. I heard some of this. I didn't watch. Hammered. I did not watch the pay-per-view. What is it? Double or Nothing or some nonsense? What is the name of it?
Double or Nothing. Go find it. Go check it out. Jeff Hardy. I will not continue to argue with people. This is the easiest. This guy is liquored up during the match, and it is so obvious to tell. Go find it.
I don't remember what I was watching. I think I was just scrolling through like Snapchat or something. And I saw somebody like breaking down why they thought he got hurt in the match. And then all of a sudden he was okay. And that was my first thought. I was like, well, the guy is an addict. So is it possible that he didn't get hurt? He sobered up. And that's why he started looking like he had it together. Like, but there is a part like they show a picture of him like talking to who the hell did the Young Bucks. They show it like if you look, he's having a full conversation with one dude while laying on the mat. He's like, hey, I'm really loaded. Or he's just, I don't know. He looks like he's telling him he's hurt. That's why I thought maybe he was hurt.
Twitter tried to argue with me and saying his boot was undone. Okay, then
that's what I saw that too. I saw that
tie
too.
It. Bend down. Like, I can't run it, so my sneaker's untied. Tie it.
Yeah, my boot was really untied the last time I was at Hooters too. It was crazy. My boot was so untied. I was slurring my speech. I had to get a ride home. It was crazy. My boot was so untied.
I'm going to see you Saturday pregame.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'll think about it.
You've already had 2 weeks back-to-back of chaos with jerseys, with moved times, with what will week 3 here? Let's hope it's just a nice, smooth Saturday big game against Carolina. Let's hope for that.
I hope from your lips to God's ears, and hopefully get that big W for everybody. We need people, man. We need people in the stands. 518-714-2200 extension 101. AlbanyEmpireIDL.com for tickets. We're cutting prices. Kids 12 and under are free. It's Hometown Heroes. Got a big surprise for everybody. Thinking about dropping a banner or two. Maybe. If I get enough people there, I'll drop some banners. I got some banners. I feel like dropping.
Such a good tease. I'm going to let that sit. That's
what I do. That's what I do.
All right. You've done 3.5 hours of content today. I'm going to let you go.
That's all you know about. Should have seen my bathroom videos earlier today too. They were insane. All right, it's a little. You want some advice?
Yes.
You want some advice? You want some advice? Go find out what they're cheering about. Wait, why are they so happy we're done?
He just pooped on the potty. He just missed it. Yes! In my child's life. He just took a poop.
All right, there you go. There's the advice. Be like Rex. Poop on the potty.